Welcome to HardwareGuru. At the moment, we are going to explain why it's beneficial for companies to have custom firmware for Android. Android is much cheaper than Windows PCs, and you can run anything on it which what you want, like digital signage, touchscreen kiosks. There were endless possibilities for Android. The only downside is that Android cannot be easily locked down for users, and some options are not available in Android standard stock. So what we do is we make custom firmware with special options, and eventually, if needed, custom applications to make things happen. What you just seen is that our firmware for the Mini XX7 just booted, and it auto started a full screen browser, and just a simple thing to show some HTML5 content on a full screen. That can be done for digital signage. And we can also use this for in-shop kiosks with touchscreens and things like that. So let me show you what the problems are with stock firmware. Stock firmware, and I'm going to use the mouse so you can see it. We could be able to make it for a touchscreen, but then it wouldn't be visible for you guys on the video what we are trying to explain. So I'm going to use a mouse right now. The problem with Android firmware is that first of all, here on top, and we're using KitKat firmware right now, Android 4.4, is that the status bar has access to system settings, things like that. Plus we have all kinds of buttons here. We don't want the end user to use buttons like this. So what we are doing, I'm going to go back, and then we will see these buttons here. We don't want end users to play with this. Ultimately, screen rotation is always an issue, so if you want Android in a portrait or reverse portrait, mostly that will be an issue with stock firmware. So that's solutions that we are providing right now. What you just seen is the X7 just boots up, and then it will start up the full screen browser. This, what you see right now, is our basic locked down launcher. That's a startup page for Android. What I'm going to show you is we have the settings button here. When you press it, we go into the settings. What we can do is general settings. We can enable the password, that's default, and change the opacity of the settings button. So let's say we push it right here, and then if we go back, we will see we don't see it. So we can hide it in full, but this button will still function. So we have the default password. We can change the password just here. Change the password. We can enter the system settings from here. We can change a wallpaper. Using an alternative status bar workaround is not needed for an X7, because we have another firmware. If we add this one and we come back, you will see, but we cannot use the status bar anymore. But that's not what we want. Let's go back. Let me and this one, so we don't have to press the settings every time when we do this setup. So then I have disabled this one right now, and then we see that everything works again. Next thing to address is the navigation bar. when we have a digital of a touchscreen kiosk that shows a web shop or something. We don't people to use this, or a table with a touchscreen inside. You can name it. The possibilities are endless. We go into the settings. Here we go to the enter the system settings, and this is the custom part for the firmware. You will see the basic Android settings. This is an X7 Mini X. Then we can go here on top. We added the Guru settings, and this are a set of special settings for firmware. You will also notice that we have a global proxy. Some boxes don't have a proxy over Ethernet. We have some apps in the Play Store that provides it, but they don't work always with every proxy. So this is a global system-wide proxy. You can fill in a host and a port and then enable it, and then you have a global proxy that works on every Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection you make. Secondly, this screen rotation, we can set up everything we want for screen rotation, so we can turn it around and it will keep the settings after reboot. Also, this system bar, or this navigation bar, we can hide any button we want on it, and then hide this one. What this one does is, you now see we have the status bar active. You have seen that we have an alternative walkaround in the launcher to make it so that people cannot use it anymore, but it doesn't disable it. When we disable this button here on the navigation bar, then it will fully disable this one. So mostly for a touchscreen product you will probably want to have these two buttons, and you will see the status bar is still locked down. It will not use. Another fancy option is this one. Let's say you have a touchscreen table. You can have this one, and let's say it's inside the table. You can turn it to your to the people around, so it will turn just 90 degrees. And then go back. So that's probably a nice option if you have a table for the touchscreen. Now you see the status bar is not active anymore. We can just use these buttons, and if we want to go to the settings, we have disabled this one. Let's say we push this one fully back and we go back, then you see the setting button is gone, but it will work, and it will ask for a password. At the moment we have it fully locked down to just the apps that we have here. Then secondly, so this one can be used for touchscreen projects. Also what you see in the start of this movie is that the full screen browser was automatically started after the box booted. So we're going to find the button here, we know where it is, so we can push it and then we can enter the password. The password can be changed right here. We can set another wallpaper if we want, but the fun part comes here, automate. You will see we just made an action. Here we set it how applications will start, and we can disable it. We can say net detect, and that will detect if there is a network connection. If there is not a network connection, it will do nothing, and then just puts when the network connection becomes active, so we don't have a not available message on a browser or any app we want to auto start. We can use boot complete, and that means when the box just completed his boot sequence, then it will start off this row of commands. So that's basically what we do. We can start multiple apps. If we want, we can also say, okay, we want the calculator to start, and we want to let it start 10 seconds after. 10 seconds after boot complete. So and then if we go back, this one will be set. But the fun part is that we did just an intent for the URL, so we can manage the URL it's using for to start up. So we can put in here any business app or digital signage app or whatever we want into here to make sure that when the box starts up, it will boot into the app we want the user to use. Also for Mini-X we can make the boxes auto power on, so when the power is on the box it will automatically boot up and be ready for use. So that's easy for shops and things like that. So this is what we do. So then when we go back, you will see we can have a full a full system that we can use for anything we want. If it's a digital signage app or a touchscreen kiosk or whatever we want, we can run with this and we can manage everything we want. So this is basically it. So then you see, and then we can change everything back if we want, and this will all be stored and it will be saved through reboots and everything. So this is our system. I hope you enjoyed it and see what custom firmware can do for your company. Have a good day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye bye.